God's blessings to everyone. This is a DGHradio.com news and information news update for the Caribbean, and I'm reporter SGD reporting the news for September 20th, 2025, covering the latest developments from across the Caribbean. We begin with business law reform in Belize. A new Insolvency and Bankruptcy Act creates one clear rulebook for rescuing distressed companies or winding them down in an orderly way. It sets timelines, clarifies creditor priorities, and tightens directors' duties as firms approach insolvency. Authorities expect faster cases, fewer disputes, and a better chance to save viable jobs. If courts, administrators, and accountants execute well, publishing user-friendly guidance and tracking time to resolution, lenders could price risk with more confidence and offer longer, cheaper credit, especially to small and medium-sized enterprises that power employment across CARICOM. The early test cases, particularly reorganizations rather than liquidations, will set the tone for how flexible this new system will be in practice. Public health is back in focus. Barbados has confirmed additional Mpox cases among adults, with contact tracing and home isolation supporting recovery. Health officials are steering higher-risk groups toward vaccination and urging early testing for rash or flu-like symptoms. Region-wide, the Pan American Health Organization warns of a sharp rise in measles cases this year and is calling for stronger routine immunization, rapid outbreak response, and clear communication to counter hesitancy. Communities hosting festivals, sports, and school events are being asked to reinforce hand washing, surface cleaning, and access to accurate health information so gatherings stay safe. Security and rule of law headlines are dominated by the waters of the Southern Caribbean. The United States has carried out multiple lethal strikes this month on suspected drug smuggling vessels, sparking legal, diplomatic, and humanitarian debate. In Washington, senior senators are pushing a war powers vote to restrict further actions without explicit congressional authorization. Around the region, governments and legal scholars are weighing international law on the high seas, the threshold for imminent threats posed by non-state actors, and the need for consultation with nearby states. Onshore, Venezuelan fishing communities report fear and economic disruption as legitimate boats hesitate to leave harbor amid heightened tensions. Key questions now. Do these operations disrupt trafficking or merely shift routes? What consultation should precede foreign military force near Caribbean waters? And could non-lethal disabling technologies reduce the need for deadly force at sea? Across Trinidad and Tobago, two debates capture the public's attention. First, Parliament is weighing a home invasion, self-defense of property bill, often described as a stand your ground measure. Supporters say it clarifies protections for residents facing violent intruders. Critics warn of vigilante risks, uneven application, and unintended legal consequences without strong guardrails, training, and clear definitions. Second, the country's broader economic crossroads is in view as oil and gas revenues decline. Leaders tout green hydrogen, offshore wind, and a diversified, creative, and digital economy, even as new exploration deals signal a short-term reliance on hydrocarbons. The transition's success will hinge on reskilling workers, attracting investment that delivers for communities, and ensuring transparency as strategies evolve. Migration and the creative economy intersect in a case out of New Jersey, where a Trinidad and Tobago performer known as Trinidad Ghost has been detained by U.S. immigration authorities over an alleged overstay. Artists and promoters across the region are revisiting compliance plans, visa categories, permitted activities, and deadlines, so tours and collaborations stay on track. Immigration judges typically weigh community ties, prior violations, and the likelihood of attending hearings when considering release or removal. Regional integration is set to accelerate. Barbados, Belize, Dominica, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines say they are technically ready to implement full freedom of movement, standardizing entry, residence, and work rights, and paving the way for portability of key services. Success will depend on frontline processing, digital IDs, and data sharing that prevent backlogs, while unions and civil society press for fair hiring, housing standards, and clear channels to report abuse. Early wins could encourage more member states to join, deepening the single market and economy. Brand and finance stories from the British Virgin Islands. Officials have secured trademarks linked to the territory's identity as the Caribbean's sailing capital, aiming to protect quality and control commercial use as high-spend yachting grows. At the same time, the government is defending the centrality of financial services while navigating fallout from a bank insolvency that has raised tough questions about oversight, enforcement, and public confidence. The policy balance, rigorous regulation, transparent communication, and steady investment in the real economy pillars that sustain jobs. Court performance and public administration are also under the microscope. Barbados's Chief Justice is urging lawyers to file on time to cut adjournments and backlogs, pairing procedural discipline with e-filing and standardized case management orders. Elsewhere, fiscal updates highlight rising public sector wage bills alongside targeted investments in health, education, and climate resilience. A reminder that transparency and efficiency matter as governments manage tight budgets. In Jamaica, plans to formalize job descriptions and performance standards for members of parliament aim to make representation more measurable and accountable, with clearer expectations for attendance, ethics, and constituency service. Guyana's oil economy continues to ripple through local supply chains. ExxonMobil reports substantial spending with Guyanese vendors, thousands of nationals on the workforce, and progress on in-country fabrication and technical training, all signs of deepening local content. Alongside that opportunity are familiar questions: safeguarding the environment, managing windfall revenues for the public good, and diversifying beyond oil to avoid the resource curse. Humanitarian pressures remain acute in Haiti, where escalating gang violence has forced mass displacement and strained access to food, health care, and schooling. In parallel, 140-plus Haitian soldiers completed training in Mexico focused on defense skills and human rights, part of a wider push to rebuild security capacity. Durable progress will demand protection of civilians, accountable institutions, and investment that addresses root causes alongside immediate relief. Community and environment notes: a major corporate-led beach cleanup in Jamaica mobilized hundreds of volunteers, underscoring how public-private partnerships can protect coastal ecosystems vital to tourism. Regional food security leaders are pushing youth engagement, climate-smart research, and risk reduction finance to shore up nutrition systems in the face of storms, import dependency, and price shocks. Tourism and sport round out tonight's update. Barbados anticipates a bumper winter cruise season with ships near full capacity and a busy Bridgetown port. Welcome news for taxis, tours, restaurants, and retailers, provided environmental safeguards keep pace. On the field, Trinbago Knight Riders blasted into the Caribbean Premier League final on the back of power hitting and sharp spin, while the women's champions completed a remarkable three-peat. West Indies head coach Darren Sammy says the door remains open for veterans Craig Brathwaite, Kemar Roach, and Jason Holder if form and roles align. On the track, Jamaica's Navasky Anderson has surged onto the world stage with a national record run in the 800 meters, inspiring a new generation. And in Montego Bay, organizers are preparing the inaugural Jamaica Cup tennis tournament to showcase world-class talent and boost sports tourism. Finally, public safety in Jamaica is under review after police shot and killed an armed assailant during a violent confrontation inside a hospital. An independent probe will assess the use of force and protocol compliance, while stakeholders discuss de-escalation training and hospital security to safeguard patients and staff. Questions we'll be tracking for you. Will Belize's new insolvency regime deliver faster, fairer outcomes for unsecured creditors and lower borrowing costs for entrepreneurs across the region? How should Caribbean states be consulted before foreign militaries use force near their waters, and could non-lethal tools curb deadly encounters at sea? What training and public education would prevent misuse of broadened self-defense laws while protecting due process? Can free movement across early adopter CARICOM states boost growth without fueling wage, undercutting, or housing pressure? And how quickly can qualifications be mutually recognized? Are vaccination campaigns reaching the right communities quickly enough to keep Mpox clusters small and measles at bay? Why these stories matter. Predictable commercial rules unlock credit and protect jobs. Decisive, transparent health measures prevent wider outbreaks. Lawful, coordinated maritime security protects sovereignty and lives. Integration and local content can spread opportunity if rights and standards keep pace. And community stewardship of coasts, courts, and classrooms strengthens the social fabric that holds our islands together. These and other issues are of great concern within the islands. What do you think are some good solutions? Let us know your thoughts by texting your comments to 1-315-898-1449. You can also join our WhatsApp group and get the news, weather, and other insightful information delivered right to your smartphone. To join, text JOIN to 1-315-898-1449. Please include your name in the text message. You will receive a call to verify your request. I'm your reporter, SGD, signing off for DGHradio.com. Remember, SGD and DGH, together we source, gather, and deliver daily global headlines because on DGHradio.com, the news never sleeps. Ciao.